Hello there. My name is Gilbert Velasquez, and welcome to our little podcast adventure. Uh, Rebecca approached me explaining her idea for the show, and I gave her my support. She said we could discuss things like music and everything that applies to it, okay? I have the resources to do this, and I support whatever we can do here to kind of further the genre, okay? But I did want to say that the opinions and views and comments said on this show do not have anything to do with my, whatever it is I represent. This is what you would call a disclaimer, okay? So I look forward to the show and everything that goes with it, and just keep that in mind. People are free to say whatever they want here. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what I think or say. And let's see where this goes. So there.
Today we have from Conjunto Cats, Art Campos.
Saludos.
Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. Glad to be here.
My pleasure. I know you've emailed me 18 times to get on. Just kidding. He didn't. I reached out to him. We also have the famous podcaster, Mr. Bumper Gomez from Bumper's Wacky Wednesday. I've been watching your show. Hilarious. I almost lost a lung the last time when you had all the TikTokers on the show. That was fun. I want to be on your show. I just
We're gonna get you.
I have ulterior motives for having you here. I want to be on your show.
No, thank you for having me. It's my honor to want to be in the presence of Gibby and then yourself and the show.
Oh, great!
So,
Thanks for being here. Thanks everybody for coming out here. We have Aisha Aparicio, or is it just Aisha?
It's just Aisha. Don't include
So-
nobody.
so-
No, I'm just playing.
And we have Aisha Aparicio, who's been, you've been dropping singles left and right, and they are, can I just say, the most gettingest in my head. If it's like you went into my ear and you planted like
Catchy.
eggs or something, and now the song
They're
won't.
subliminal.
Well, my kids know the lyrics. They don't even speak Spanish, and they're like, doo, 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 me gustas. I can't get that song out of my head. I actually have been requesting it on KLMO.
Thank you.
I've been hounding Big Boy. Could you just play the song already, Big Boy? And then last but not least, we have the famous heir to the throne of, of Los Desperados, Mr. Eric Lee, who you're continuing the look. You got the biceps out and the triceps and everything. That is the official look of Los Desperados.
Yeah, kind of like, well, hello, and thank you for having me. But yes, I have to continue on the legacy of the look and the arms and the oil and, you know.
I like it. I like it, the legacy.
Thank you.
I like
I
it.
like you.
I feel like I can like it and still be safe. It's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Well, welcome everybody to Gibby's Tejano Roundtable. It's wonderful to have you here. One of the things that I wanted to discuss, being is that you guys are all so, well, okay, I'm going to start with you, Eric.
Okay, go ahead.
When you were a little boy,
Uh-huh.
I went to your family's ranch, and it was like my coming of age party.
Okay.
And your dad was there, your uncle was there, and a whole slew of other people that I honestly can't remember. My mom was there. I think my best friend, Baby Mary, was there, and my publicist at the time, Diana Revelo, was there. And I felt like so privileged to even get the invite because I felt like that party consisted of all like the coolest people in the industry at the time. And of course, we were like on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, so I was like halfway scared, but honestly, I felt really...
But slightly thrilled at the same time.
Yeah, slightly thrilled, but ultimately, I felt safe. I mean, I had my mom with me. But how important is maintaining a healthy social lifestyle among La Onda? Is it imperative that we get together and hang out? or can you do it without making friends within? Like, can you just be your own person and not make any friends, or do you have to make friends?
I believe that you don't have to do anything. I believe you should choose to do whatever you feel is right for you. So if somebody tends to be a little bit more like to themselves, they shouldn't feel pressured to have to go and join where everybody else is, because if that's not their thing, that's not their thing. And if people want to include everybody and invite people over, like the way my family would always host lots of parties, I feel like, to each their own. I don't really think there's a correct answer for that.
But
one.
is it beneficial to attend these functions? Because every time I get on Aisha's Facebook page, she's like at somebody's house party somewhere, like George Rivas is there. And
That was my house.
That was your house? So that's where all the parties are, is at Aisha's house.
No.
Does it make a difference
I
to
have
get
a
in
limited limited people that come to my house. I don't just invite everybody. I mean, it might seem that way.
Well, I haven't been there yet, so what are you trying to say?
But I mean, I try to have healthy friendships that if they want to hang out with me, I mean, that's fine. I don't make anybody hang out with me. But at the same time, I like to have a good time. And but at the same time, like, you don't really, it's like kind of like work. You don't really hang out with your coworkers. I don't really hang out with my coworkers. It's very limited. That's what I would say. It doesn't make it beneficial.
Oh, okay.
I don't
see.
think.
Yeah, I just wondered because I'm a person. I suffer from social anxiety disorder. So when I get into big crowded arenas
Yeah.
or any situation where I have to be normal or social, if Aisha was there, I could be down, I'd be cool, and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
But I have to have like a designated person to
Be with.
Otherwise, I'm not going. You won't see me at any special events or parties unless I have like a chaperone. But I felt like that ultimately worked against my career because I wasn't establishing relationships with other people in the industry that I could have.
Oh, okay. So can I speak on that really quick?
Okay.
Being one that was at those parties, and I would see a lot of other artists there, and I will say there was nothing beneficial that came out of it work-wise. Just the fact that we had fun, the fact that we enjoyed each other's company. People were there because we enjoyed the company. There was no like, let's work on this song. There was none of that talk. My dad really wanted everybody to drink some beers, sit around the fire, watch the horses run, get on the four-wheelers, and do all those kinds of things. It was more of a relaxation. Then there was nothing beneficial, like I said, work-wise that came out of it, because anything work-wise should be done work-wise. It shouldn't be done. It's not beneficial to try to set something up while you're drinking super drunk and then you almost basically forget about it the next day.
So it's like forced vacation for an artist, because we work every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know if you're touring, you're on the road every weekend. You don't get to party with your friends at any moment. So sometimes it's good to get together with
the people that do the same thing you do.
You want to go get crazy on a Tuesday?
I think like in my case, having the podcast and the only person on here that's not an artist, right? I build those relationships because I really love to get to know people. Being a fan of Tejano music, I really get to enjoy the artist as a person. Like, you know what I mean? Like my podcast, I base it on, like, I want people to know that Aisha, you're going to be on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would really like people to know who she is. Like,
see them with their veil dropped.
Without seeing them on stage and stuff. So, and when I go to parties and stuff like that, I'm not like going like, hey, I need you on my show. Hey, I don't do that. Like for me, I'm just going as like, hey, it's just cool, man. Like these people are down to earth. They're just like anybody else. They're not these, you know what I mean?
You get to see them for their light, whether it's good or whether it's bad.
Exactly.
Good
good or bad.
You get to learn
I'd be
good
like,
or
I
bad.
definitely don't want to hang out with that dude anymore.
And
I'm gonna get arrested if I hang out with
actually, like
Bumper.
I've gotten to know, really close with a couple of guys that I've had on the show, and we talk like 5-6 times or more weekly. And sometimes I think for the artists, it's good to talk to me because I'm not going to give them an artist perspective. They asked me a question
You're
about
speaking on behalf of the people because you're in contact
exactly.
with
Like,
them.
hey, what do you think as a fan? What would you think? So I'm grateful for that. That's for me, that's an honor. So for me, the parties and thing, that's my spill on that.
Yeah, that's like part of your job.
Yeah.
You seen my after parties?
I have.
Yeah,
I saw.
yeah,
I saw.
Yeah, you saw.
I saw, and I like it. I like it.
I think it's cool. I mean, I'm not really a party person. I don't really drink too much, even
Well,
though
not
I
so
play.
much getting wasted, but just socializing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you know, I mean, I think that's good too, man. But at the same time, you kind of have to watch who you hang out with, and you know, I mean, who you pull into your circle, because I've had like, you know, like the experiences you get, you like party with certain people a little bit too much, and then they start expecting like the favors, like,
time.
hey man, I got a tia celebrating my birthday. Can you give me a discount on my gig or whatever like that?
You baptize
and, you know,
my baby.
you know, yeah, stuff like that. And you know, I mean, I don't mind helping out my friends, but if you have too many friends like that, it like tends to like kind of get all like, hey, bro.
And
I
then
mean,
I think that's when you have to start to say, because that happens a lot to my dad, and that's happened to where people are like, "Can you sing just but by yourself?" Meaning like just me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I can," but like I don't just go. I'm not gonna go all dressed to the nines with the whole backtrack and sing for you. Like that's my job. You're not
Right.
gonna go into work for anything just to sit there and not get paid. Like a lot of times, I don't think people understand. Like that's your craft. Like if somebody knits something and that's their work, why would I be like, hey, I really like this blanket. Can I have it for a discount? Why would I? I feel like that's almost insulting their work, and I feel like that's something that I feel a lot of people should take into consideration when asking for a favor. Now I get it when finances are, you know, we could work something
Sure,
out.
benefits
that's
and whatnot,
different.
yeah.
But when you're expecting it, or just think just because we hung out at a party, I'm gonna do something, or we could do something for you, I don't think that's necessarily correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody been paid to attend a party?
No.
I wouldn't have accepted that.
That would
no.
be so cool, though. I'd be like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah. I feel like, because I have a lot of comedian friends, and I understand they have that pressure, too. They're like, well, you're a comedian. Hey, tell us a joke.
Yeah.
Make us laugh.
Make me laugh.
I mean, it's cool, you know. I mean, there's, like I said, I mean, there's, you know, I mean, I don't mind, like, if, you know, sometimes we have people like those people that come to our gigs like religiously. It seems like if they're there, I mean, there's like a handful of couples that we have where we're playing in Laredo, we're playing in Corpus, and man, one time they even surprised me. We played up in Dallas, and they showed up there. You know, so I mean, for those kind of people, yeah, I mean, I don't mind going out a little bit, you know, going out on a limb and you know, doing a little bajo and accordion, acoustic, or whatever. But you know, then you start, you know, getting these other people where they're just kind of like fans just on social media, but you never see them at the gigs, and they're like, "Hey, can you do a shout out for my daughter?" Or I'm like, "Bro, you don't even come to my gigs, man. How you want me to do a shout
Can you do a
out?"
video? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind, you know, sometimes.
Sure.
But, you know, like I have merchandise, and then, you know, you have friends that are like, can you,
Hook me up.
can I have a shirt? And I'm like, dude,
That's how you're trying. It's your product.
Sure,
It's your
sure.
I
product.
just bought these, and I only have so many.
I literally paid money for these. I paid
I
for
mean,
them.
it's not that, you know,
I
I'm like
I wrote a
hungry
check,
for the
and they
money,
took the
but
check,
it's just,
and now I have the shirts.
I mean, a lot of stuff is out of pocket, and that's how
A lot
we,
of stuff,
that's
all
how,
of it.
that, yeah, most of it.
I think I had made a joke earlier because I was going to try and put an all-female panel together, and I was like, we're going to try and raise money for our eyelashes fund because the stuff's expensive. You know,
Said eyelashes.
Yeah.
and they're like.
I've never heard a
$6
man
per
say
pair.
that girl would be very like she would be so beautiful if her eyelashes were just maybe a quarter of an inch longer. That would have been it.
Y'all
Like,
don't even know. You can't tell the difference. Y'all
But
don't
you know
even
what?
If they
It makes
didn't
a
have them, though,
difference.
Yeah,
you would
you wouldn't even
probably
notice.
notice the difference. You would notice the difference.
I'm just saying. All right,
It,
help me out.
completes
I'm
the
just
look.
saying.
Completes the look.
You know, when you wear, I gotta put my 2 cents in it. You know, eyelashes, I like to wear them like when I'm on stage or if I'm gonna be somewhere in the public eye, you know, because you know they're going to come see you, and you're a different person to me.
Yeah.
When I'm at home with my son or my family, I'm not wearing eyelashes and all. You know, I look totally different.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, it does.
It levels up your look.
Yeah.
Do you
It kinda
stick
helps
them
you.
on the mirror
I
when
put
you're
them on
done?
the sink and the mirror. No, I'm
That's
playing.
a good question. That's a good question. I always lose. I have kids. I have 3 daughters, so there's.
Well, my husband woke up
They're
with
gone.
one on
The
his
second
leg.
I take them off, they're gone. I found
Not
one
his
with
leg.
a guy. My kid woke up one morning. She had a lash on her cheek, like. But no, I had often wondered about that because it seemed as though just getting together would have been beneficial, but it
I
seems
will
more
say,
like
back on that subject about like hanging out and partying with certain people. It's to me, I've there is certain people that I will make the effort to go hang out with because that person could help me in the long run. So so you want to be on their good side. And I hate to say it, man, but sometimes this industry it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. Plus, with social media, you kind of want
Sure.
them to come to your events.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a few, and not enough, but there are a few artists out there who, on their nights off, they go and see other bands play, and I'm
Yes.
like, holy crap! Like Ruben Ramos showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? You should be in bed, resting. What
Yeah.
the heck, man? And they'll party all night, and then you're like, man, Ruben Ramos is actually a really cool guy, and he's hilarious.
With that being said, on my behalf, shout out to David Farias because he's comes out to our
He does?
to our shows a few times, and he's got up on stage with us and jammed out. So shout out to David Farias.
And then you
man.
get that nice selfie.
Heck yeah,
I went to
man.
one of your
Post it.
shows.
Yeah,
Cool. Aisha went to one of your shows.
yeah, she did.
And you
yeah,
involved me.
yeah, and we were hanging out backstage.
Oh man.
Yeah, me, Aisha, Ram,
Now,
and
Lucky Joe.
I
Eric,
feel
yeah,
like
Lucky
we
Joe,
have
all those cool people.
different spectrums of La Onda Tejana here today. We have Conjunto,
Yes.
and then we have like the new age Tejano sound, which both of you guys have songs written and produced by Gabriel Zavala, right?
Yes.
And
I have
that,
a- yeah.
that's like that's like a whole nother thing, which I love, obviously, because I'm still young and hip. But to me, it's been a headache to define what Tejano is, and with sounds that are so completely different between you guys and the conjunto sound. Where is the connection between the two completely different sounds, but they are the same industry? I've never been able to understand it, and it gives me a headache when I think about it. And the more I get answers, the more questions I have.
As a fan,
Yes.
the difference is, right, of course, the bajo sexto, the acordeon, and then, Tejano, traditional Tejano, the big band sound, right? As a fan, I put it like this: it's our culture. So it's like there's really no conjunto's conjunto. It's never gonna be. It's traditional, like that's what.
But
people
are
like.
there like diehard just conjunto
Yes.
fans
Yeah,
that
oh,
don't want to
yeah.
have
Yeah,
anything to
yeah,
do with
yeah,
other
yeah,
types of music?
Like that is probably the main reason when me and my dad had to have a talk about branding's everything.
You Janet Jacksoned him. You're like, I'm
I-
going out,
I
Dad.
we had to make the decision of, because I want to do something that's so pink. He's over here where it's black. It's just not meshing. And it's because some people have diehard where they want to hear what my dad and uncle do specifically.
And they want to hear
Doesn't-
it coming from you.
They don't want to hear it coming
okay.
from me. So it's not that I'm not good. It's just that's what they want to hear. But then you go and I put on a new age cumbia song that we just recorded. Everyone's like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Because it's not that the song's bad. It's that people are expecting that specific sound. And I noticed that sometimes even when you have bands that are two completely different extremes that like go on together, like whoever goes first and whoever closes, sometimes the crowd could differ depending. Like if you have two conjuntos that go on, you're gonna have a huge crowd. But when your fandom's kind of spread out, some people are like, oh, I don't want to go because then I don't like that person, or I don't want to go because then there's that person before them. It's so mixed. So I think it's such a huge spectrum of what we are, which is why I feel like we should just label our music as it's just Latin music. Like I feel like, yes, you could be conjunto if that's what you do and you're 100% proud of, that's all it is.
Because
But if
there's
you,
a straight up conjunto fest.
Yeah,
Yes,
It's conjunto
there
fest.
is.
You know,
How
an
about-
easy way to put it, that's like putting gangster rap and country in the same concert sometimes.
Sometimes I get, and
Some-
I get that, but for me, it's like I know that certain times of the day for certain radio stations they have like conjunto hour. The next
yeah.
3 hours is puro
And there's even a
conjunto.
difference within the conjunto circuit. Like I mean, I can speak for that because the way we play conjunto, it's a little bit more up tempo. It's a little bit fast. A little bit faster. My
Don't
drummer.
give your
he's
secrets away.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, my drummer. He's a 14-year-old kid, so he's full of energy,
It's
man.
gonna
So
be faster.
he's like rocking out. My son is 18 years old, so he's another one that's full of energy. So whenever we go play at some of these conjunto venues where you have somebody like Bone Mauricio playing, or Mando La Venganza, you know, Los Tremendos Alacranes, and those guys play a little bit more traditional, más sentado, just a and then conjunto cats get up there and you know, it's just a whole different vibe. It's the same instruments, but it's just what's coming out of the heart, you know. It's just
anyway.
And then people sometimes, I've kind of seen the reaction like I mean, we'll play, and I mean, we play a little bit faster, and people are kind of just sitting there like, what the hell are these dudes playing? And then and then the other guys get on, and the dance floor just it just packs. You know, it's not like Eric said. It's not like you know, I mean, either band is better than the other. It's just
that's what they're into.
It's just what the people prefer.
It's what the crowd and
we
the
need
crowd.
to-
A certain band will draw. It just happens naturally. It's not that one's better than the other. Sometimes a specific band that particular night will draw in a harder crowd. So let's say Los Desperados have gone on first before. I'm not going to even say who because I don't need controversy on me thinking that. But let's just say we've
You know what he said.
yeah, we've gone on first, and I kid you not, like, it's beautiful to me because performing's my passion, and I'm on stage and I see like everybody on the dance floor, and we've gotten off the stage, and I'm talking like people who are, they swear they're heavy hitters, and then they go on after, and it's just like everyone goes to the next bar. And it just disappears. And it's also happened to Los Desperados where we see like, dang, it's going to be packed. And then we get on stage and it starts to clear out because the crowd came for a specific artist.
So it sounds like we just need to identify who our target audience is.
I think the promoters, if you're a promoter out there, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
When
hey,
you're
don't
booking the
put
band.
don't put A and Z together.
Yeah.
You need to put like A, B, and C together, not A and Z. You know, the spectrums.
That's
too
100% correct.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to put on, and if it's still Tejano, but let's say, for instance, it would make more sense for like a Stephanie Gabriel Zavala paired with, let's say, for instance, me or AJ Castillo, we would be put together. But then you add like my dad in the mix, then it kind of messes it up for Los Desperados because then they don't play to a crowd that wants to hear the boom chain.
And if somebody came to see your dad play, then
They're going to
they'd be lost
bothered
with all the other stuff.
Exactly. So the promoters need to learn, like, just by having two bands from different spectrums does not mean you're going to pack in the house. It's actually going to mean you can possibly clear it out in a weird way.
Not only that, ruin the vibe of the band that didn't bring that audience in.
And
Because that's not a good
Hey,
feeling.
but can we turn it on the audience and just say, hey, you know what? Like,
What's wrong with you people?
No. I'm being real here. Like, so, you know, I think a big problem we have in the onda, when you say onda, right? Conjunto Tejano, whatever you want to call it, is that it's our culture. It's our music. Whether it's you know, support it.
Just
You know
support
what I mean?
it.
Like
Yeah, they
hang
don't
out.
want to accept it.
You
It's just
know.
like, you know, stuck
might
on
see
the.
Conjunto cats come on, you be like, wait a minute, bro, I don't like Conjunto, but these guys are
They're
young
okay.
as heck, full of energy. I like Conjunto cats now. Now I'm gonna download. You know what I'm saying?
Our fan base doesn't give enough, like, doesn't have enough of an open mind to accept other
there you
styles,
go.
other sounds, because you kind of have to remember, people, when they only wanted the same 5 to 6 either bands or 5 or 6 artists that you hear all the time, that's all they think Tejano is, when there's so many other artists that could be better or have other ideas, and it's a possibility that they could like it too. They don't allow themselves to like it.
Well,
I
I
didn't
feel
want to
like-
open a Pandora's box.
It's
with
okay,
that,
open it up.
But no, he just said something in that on the way over here. I was really thinking about this, and I wanted to get off my chest. Like, I think that the genre, whether it's conjunto, tejano, whatever, call it what you want, we need to the A bands. You were saying the A-listers. How many of them are reaching out that hand, saying, "Hey, come on, get up
Well,
here,
Ram
open it up
is.
for me."
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not.
But not everybody.
But not everybody's doing it, right? And I think, as a fan, speaking to artists, right, it's almost like there's a lot of a buffet for everybody to eat, but not everybody wants to let everybody eat at the table, right? Whether you're big, small, like everybody's got. They started somewhere. You started somewhere. You started somewhere. You started somewhere.
I'm still starting out.
What?
Yeah.
But
Still starting
I'm waiting for that LP to drop right now. Like, when's it gonna drop?
and not everybody's gonna have the Class A production. You know what I'm saying? But if we want our genre to stay, and I don't like to say Tejano's dead. I hate saying that.
It clearly isn't because we
clearly
have
is
new
not.
artists
Right.
But
coming
what
up
I
every
always
day.
say on my show is like, my job my job is from Bumper's Wacky Wednesday is to keep Tejano relevant. That's it. That's the word, relevant. Because the age spectrum for Tejano music, as I was telling you guys off the air, right, is huge, right? It's huge. But if you go to dances, it's usually older people, right? We got to find a way. This genre of music has to find a way to attract that 15-year-old to a 35-year-old. And I think as a genre, that's where we're failing. You know, where you talk about people who do the TikToks and the stuff, and they get famous really quick. But you know what? I like it. And the reason I like it is because it's keeping our music relevant. Yeah. Young people are saying, well, why is he singing that? Who is this?
Well, also young people today, not just young people, but people in general, with bringing in TikTok and social media and all that stuff, our attention span can't go past. TikTok is like 30 to 60 seconds. Yeah. And I'm like, if it lasts any longer than that, I'm done. I don't want to hear it.
You're right.
That's why I can't deal with them lose weight quick infomercials. Yeah. They're like, I'm going to teach you how to lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks. But first, I'm going to tell you my life story. And then I'm going to tell you Joanne's life story because she's trying to lose weight too. And then after an hour and a half, then I'm going to give you the big old $300 price that you probably can't afford. So you're just going to stay fat, people. Stay fat, America. You jerk unless you're rich. I hate that. I actually watched an entire thing of V-Shred. I was like, V-Shred, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do V-Shred.
V-Shred.
Yeah, I thought it was V-Shred, but it was
or like those posts that are like 10
kidding.
paragraphs long. I read the first paragraph. All right, that's enough.
Yeah, I'm like done. Yeah.
That's enough.
But yeah, we have a short attention span. So I think that it's great to see all these little 15, 30-second snippets of Tejano music, and I like what's her name? Oh my gosh, she just did a TikTok with your video.
Chronic Chingona?
Yeah, Chronic Chingona.
Yeah.
She does like little skits and stuff. She does with comedy. She's got little characters
That's
that
cool.
she plays.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I have seen
that.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She did one with mine, and I was like almost crying. I was so excited because you feel appreciated for one, but you're also being appreciated by somebody who has an alternative talent that they're lending their talents to your talent. Like if we got just combined together.
So speaking of that, I think that's something that could be very beneficial is by combining things where older, or not, I don't want to say older, that's an inappropriate way to use it.
Okay, I'm old.
People who have been established in the industry to maybe slightly change your sound, just a niche, try what a lot of us new artists could be trying, not changing yourself entirely to where you're doing stuff you don't want to do, but to where it makes it okay for it to be done. Because then when artists that have been, in the industry for so long, they almost set the tone where it's like, if you don't sound like that, we're not going to play your music. Yeah. So I feel a lot of new artists start to even conform to where I'll hear new singles, and I mean no offense to anybody by this, but like I'll hear new singles and I'm like, that sounds like a 1980s song. Like it just
I've said that too to somebody. They're like, what do you think of this song? I was like, cool. When was that done? Like 1995. He's like, no, dude, I just did it.
Because
as a fan, I'll throw this out there. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with what?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying,
I'm saying, like, if I hear an older song, man, I'm having a brain fart right here.
But I feel like that's where the disconnect is between culture and trends. Mm-hmm. So we have a culture that we love our conjunto, we love the Tejano sound, we love the keyboards, we love those chord progressions and those weird patches from the 80s. Like we still use the shit out of them, the same exact ones. Synthesizers, yeah. Anyways. And our mind connects with that from a cultural standpoint. But there's also another part of our psyche that has to accept trends and has to feel like, hey, what is happening? Be open to the new trends. Yeah. And
that's what I was.
To me,
that's what I'm trying to
say. To me, that's where there's
a huge disconnect. Actually,
a huge, not just a disconnect, but people they're just not accepting the new sound.
Yeah.
Then it's not for you. It's like what everybody says. If you don't like the content, then scroll on by. It's not for you.
Is it just that they don't like it, or they don't hear it enough, which opens up a whole nother thing, right?
But that's what I'm saying. If you as a DJ or as an entertainment personality, you have the power to create the new celebrities of La Onda, and I don't see anybody doing that.
And that's kind of happened to me before. I've heard songs on the radio for the first time. And I'm not really like, I'm not really digging it. But then you hear it
Over and
again
over.
and
it grows
again.
on you.
And then all of a sudden you're like, "Ese coco que quiere luce."
Yeah.
And like, hey, I like that song, man.
Well, I mean,
That happens a
that's
lot.
like on my first album. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just did a little bit of everything, and then like I like 80s, I like 90s, I like R&B, I like.
You redid that Lisa Lopez,
rancheras, I like-
Lisa song.
Yeah, and no, what's her? Lisa.
Lisa. That's when
Head
I
to
first
toe.
became a fan.
And like that song that Me Gustas, you're trying to get the younger crowd to like Tejano music and that 15 to 35-year-old, and like you said, you liked it and your daughters liked it.
I can't
And
help
to me,
it.
I was
I
like,
want-
well, then I got somebody's attention, and then it stays in your head. But again, like you were saying, like you were saying, like I sing with Ram as background vocals, when COVID opened up, when things opened up again after COVID, or COVID's still going on. But anyway, he asked me to join him on the road, but he's like, this time around, I want you to sing a couple of your songs. And so,
Bam.
which was
Heck yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
And at the same time, at first, we really didn't know what we were going to do. So they were like, why
Well,
don't we
your
do
music is
Baby
so-
Baby?
so
And
different
Baby
from
Baby
his.
doesn't fit him.
Yeah.
So then we started doing 2 other songs. We did Pero No and Poquito Poco, and those fit. And those now I do those songs, and it fits with his show. So it has to fit.
Well, it has
I
to
can't-
fit, but after a certain point, if your single becomes huge, you got to do that single.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just
But
be
not
like,
with
I
him."
can't do this single because it doesn't work with his show. You will
But I
have
have
been
my- yeah.
made your own star and then
Yeah.
been like, look, I'm a star. I got to
Nah.
I'm a
which is-
peacock. You got to let me fly.
But I understand what you're saying, because you're there to
Yeah.
actually work for
Work
him.
him.
Right.
You're
I'm
not
not
there by
Aisha.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to do, if he's allowing you to do your songs, you have to do the
Yes.
songs that are going to fit within the show, because if it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense with the instruments, it's just going to be kind of a mess.
Yeah, and I'm not there
It's
as
a tap
Aisha, and I don't
dance.
see myself when I'm there. I'm working for him.
him, yeah.
I'm part of the band, and so that's what when I go there and people are like, Aisha, can I take a picture? I was like, oh, you want to take a picture with me? Okay, but I'm not. I'm like, okay, I'm not there for me.
cool.
I'm like, oh,
But
Ram's
aside
there.
from Ram, do you do your own shows?
Yeah,
currently,
I do
yeah.
my own stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be in Vegas with him and by myself.
Boom.
Nice.
What's the song
Boom.
you sing with completo?
Yo soy de ti.
That song is bomb.
Yo soy de ti.
That song was so for me. It's like
Aw.
you were saying, like I heard it on the radio over and over again, and it just got like I was singing your parts.
Yeah.
I was singing the man part, but I was singing your parts.
I think one of the patterns that I've been seeing lately, like we had Juan Trevino on here 2 weeks ago, and he just came out with a song called Hey. And I noticed that the chord progressions are not anything that my brain was used to hearing in traditional conjunto music. He sort of changed up just like one little chord. You change one little chord.
Changes the whole sound.
And it does. It changes the whole feel of the sound. And I feel like he took chord progressions from what's trending today and added them to his song, and it updated his song.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he could have had it sounding just.
And see how it was a minor change?
It was super
Yeah.
minor change.
That's what I was talking about with simple, small, little changes that kind of just, for somebody who's listened to a specific artist for so long, you make a tiny change like that, it's like, oh my God, it sounds completely different.
Yeah.
But it really
Yeah.
isn't that different.
Yeah.
And you have to take the time to test all of those theories and all those different actions, because I feel like a lot of people are just like, hurry up and get this track out now.
Unless you are known for that, like you're already at the top of the game. I think if you're a band that's on the top of the game, you can do that, and people are gonna accept it.
Yeah.
For instance, Intocable, every album they come out, and you're just like,
Holy crap.
what the heck? Like, I gotta hear it over, and then it's like you said,
Yeah.
you hear it and like, I don't know, man, like that, and then you hear it again and again.
They just
and
released
then
a
you're
brand
like, dude, that's a bad song. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
So-
song they just released, that Yo Te Esperaré or something like that. Yeah, that one, when I first heard it, I was like, oh man, Intocable is one of my favorite bands that I look up to, especially Ricky Munoz. But like at first I was like, man, I'm not digging it. But then after listening it,
Don't let them hear you say that. I'm just kidding.
no.
They're
But,
watching right now.
But then after a while, listening to it over and over on YouTube, I was like, hey man, I think I like the.
Yeah, and then what is
I like the groove to
obscure
this song.
suddenly becomes the trend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love seeing that and hearing that. I'm like, that is something I ain't ever heard before. I don't know if I like it, but like Alicia Keys came out with some kind of song. I think it was some people want it all. And I was putting my makeup on in one room, and I was hearing it on the radio in the other room, and in my mind it sounded pitchy. I'm sorry.
The recording?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And that song drove me right up, like it just went up my spine, and it gave me up like that. And I couldn't stand listening to the song. But after like the 1,000th time of listening to it, I was like, that song's awesome. Oh, I love Alicia Keys now. But that is the power that the DJs have.
Yes.
You know, whoever's doing that, or if you're a VJ or DJ or JJ, whatever. Yeah. They ultimately have. I don't want to put all the power in them because there's all sorts of other outlets that we can use to support our own music and just put it in people's faces. But they hold the chalice, and I'm like, I just want to drink from the chalice. If he would just play my song 18 times a day, we would be good, and I could be a star, and wouldn't have to work so hard, like really work super hard all the time. So frustrating. But now on the other subject of a lot of radio stations are still playing super old Tejano songs that were released back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and then mixing them up with today's music. And as you said, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that, except that we are all trying really hard to just get airtime. And we have to compete with songs that have been already famous. They've been famous. They're famous already. Y'all already had it. You already been famous.
Been done
You've been done that. That's done. It's
But
done.
even the established artists, they record new songs and they don't even get their new stuff played. They're still
Exactly.
playing their
They're still
old
playing
stuff.
the old mod
My
stuff.
dad talks about that all the time. We have an entirely new album that we have to like sometimes really ask radio stations to play, and then once they play it, people are like, oh, they have a new album, they have new songs out, that's so good. Well, yeah, if you stop playing the ¿Qué te
old
pasó?
stuff, yeah.
Over and over and over. Like,
If I had a nickel for every time
That's
I
my
heard
favorite one.
Yeah, hey, come on. If you're
It's a
radio,
good
don't take that
song,
off.
but-
Don't take
yeah.
that off.
Don't take-
Well,
Don't
if
take
I
that
no,
one
let me
off
take
of
it back.
this.
If I had a nickel for every time my Uncle Albert called me to say, I heard you on the radio today, and I'm like all aglow thinking they actually played my
It's a
music,
Maz
and it was a Maz song. It's like, that's not my song, man. Man, I was 14 when I recorded that song. 14. It was 1994. Hey, man. I mean, I love that
14.
song.
Oh my
Could you
God.
play my new stuff? I have new stuff. I just recorded the song. I know it's nothing compared to that one, but if you could
Rebecca,
just...
you said radio. It's your show, right? But I want to ask a question to you.
Please.
Like, what is your guys' take on how the world's changed? Like, as far as the way music is come across. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody's going to Walmart and Kmart and the record shop, Janie's record shop, buying CDs, right? They're getting
Oh,
all
we're
from
supposed
the
to be having
digital.
some sort of a event yesterday for Janie's Record Shop,
Yeah,
right?
like a benefit dance or something like that.
Yeah, it was at
Thirsty Horse,
Thirsty Horse,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a benefit. What was the benefit for?
to keep
For-
it
Just to keep
Keep it
open?
open.
Alamo.
Yeah.
Because we're in an era of, like, for instance, when I release my EP, I'm not gonna print CDs because
Yeah.
when
What for?
when I was with my dad, the only people who purchased albums that we printed, they were I would see their phones. They had flip phones, or they had and it's not because they couldn't afford it.
I bought one.
Their
Because
age gap. That's what they want to do. They want to put the
Yeah.
CD inside their car.
My
Whereas
CD
in-
player is broken.
who I feel like we are going to release our music to, it's so much easier for everybody to just download it
Digital.
on your phone, have it on your phone, which
Should
is
we
why
charge more for printed CDs? Because
New
it
cars
costs
don't even
so,
come with CD
it
players
costs
anymore.
so much
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
preliminary CD.
It's like the
My
USB.
dad
Some
have a
people, I
CD.
think they
Yeah.
buy them for rent, like to have it.
Yeah,
like,
just to
Yeah.
have-
But they don't even unwrap it. Like,
Yeah,
hey, I
I
got it.
don't.
One day this
I've
is gonna
had
be
people
worth-
tell me I don't do downloads, and I'm like, well, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but so my question was like for you for like what is your guys' take as far as it doesn't get talked about enough? Internet radio. Anybody can have a radio station now. Anybody can spin. Anybody can have right.
Well,
But
there's
anybody,
laws
could,
now.
anybody could also sing and release music on iTunes. So it's just the quality of what you do.
Yeah, You're still, at the end of the
quality,
day, you're
producer.
still fighting
Sorry, I
the
didn't
same
mean to-
fight
No,
for
that-
relevance.
I just honest answers.
It's-
Like,
There's
Yeah.
a lot of producers out there, really good producers, and if you're looking for producers, it's all about what works best for you. That's what I would say to go with, if you don't know who to go with. But also, there's people out there that don't know what they're doing, and you can hear it in their recordings.
Yeah. And their whole pitch
it's-
is you can record it here, and then you can get it on. I can put it on iTunes for you, and I'm going to do the
if it costs
graphics for you. I'm going to do
very-
everything
if it's
here
not
from my
that
garage.
much money to record. It costs to record a single one song, and if you're gonna go the cheap route, I'm sorry.
You get what you
You're gonna
pay
get what
for.
you-
My
you get what
mom
you
has
paid
always
for.
said that. So.
Yes.
High five, girl.
have you seen the new logo on the? I'm speaking on Apple Music.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is it called?
No, go ahead. What were you
The
gonna say?
little. They have like a little. There's some songs that are recorded and they have a certain.
Yeah, they have a
Oh.
little. You know what that is? That's their master. That's
If
where they
you-
run their master
Yeah.
If you
through.
hear that on a thing, like somebody told me, like listen to it, I'm like, come on, bro, how different can it be?
You can hear a huge difference.
It's drastic differently. I don't know what the symbol is. It's
There's
just
two
a M.
Yeah, some
like
of
a
them. There's
smoke
actually
sign
there's
almost, right?
5 of them. There's about 5 or 6 of them. I see different signs on because I have various artists. Various artists will send it through a different mastering system.
Right.
I think that's what it is. I'm not exactly sure. I don't 100% know, but I've seen where they all have different like little signs or something like that. And like some songs will have 3 of them or 2 of them.
I played them on my AirPods, and my buddy's like, "Hey, listen to this song, and then listen to this one. This one's and night and day. Like I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. It's
Then I have
literally
to
night
do
and
that.
day.
I feel like I just.
Wow.
I just slipped into the cool zone.
But
I need to
what
know
makes
these things.
that's funny because what I was wondering is I played an old song and one of those symbols came up. So do they remaster them?
Maybe
This one has an E on it. What does that mean?
Okay, that's because
It's Billy.
That's explicit.
Explicit.
Oh, nice. I definitely want that one.
Okay, so you're talking about that Apple digital master thing right there, that little thing right here.
Can you see my little thing?
Like if you click on her song. Oh, I don't know. Never mind. Just kidding.
This one has like it looks like smoke. Like
Oh.
it's a little. I don't know.
Okay, then I don't know. Then I don't think I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
We're
Dude,
talking
that
about
thing-
2 different things here.
Night and day.
Smoke.
How
But I think a lot
much you
of
got
the
to
new
be
It was
smoking
Cheech
to
and
see
Chong
that
recorded
smoke?
coming out. It has it. Yeah. The way it's.
So that,
Cheech
but
and
what
Chong
you're saying
recorded
is
it, that's
that that signifies that it's like the master.
No.
No,
It's the way they
I
put it up.
interpret it differently.
The way it comes out, the sound, the clarity is. It's just on
A different level.
Better-
It's meant
better
for better
quality?
headphones.
like
it's
a
meant
better-
for beats.
I think it can actually do. It has to do probably with how it's put in the earphones
Yeah,
through your
the
ear.
clarity or something. It's night and day.
Nice.
But Aisha, I did want to jump in on what you were saying as far as if for anybody who's new or trying to figure out when it comes to producers, if you're going to try to release a single, I think we have both experienced good and bad experiences, right, through our
Yeah.
journeys. And I think that you should definitely save as much as you can. Don't try to go a cheap route. If you're going to find yourself a producer, why don't you sit down and see if you can set up a meeting and see if you vibe with them, because they're
Yeah.
going to be directing you throughout the entire song. So if the song requires a specific feeling, while I'm recording, Gabriel really kind of coaches, like, I don't hear that you're pissed off. You get mad. You're mad. Why are you mad?
Yeah.
Or he just left you, blah, like stuff like that. Really find somebody who's going to take the time to really guide you to get the best out of you, because I've also experienced where people are hounding you and almost picking on you to where it's like, well, you can't do this right. Well, why are you even here? And that's not going to really help you have the best single that you can have. And that just really kind of makes you not want to work with that producer again. And I don't care how good or how many Grammys you've won or whatever the case. If you're rude, that's simple. You're rude.
Yeah.
And when I've worked with Gabriel, it's such a refreshing experience. And it's different because he really takes, like she said before, producers can either take the time or they can either not take the time.
And then you have to be able to take constructive criticism too. I believe in that too. I mean, just because you're in there and you're going to record doesn't mean we know what we're doing either.
Yeah, oh, hell
so
yeah.
when you go in there, listen. That's one thing, is to listen. And but at the same time, the producer can't. I understand them being, constructive criticism, but
there's a point.
There's a
There's a
certain point, because then it
dial.
makes you feel like,
Come on.
oh well, then I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you have to learn to where, like, okay, let's say for instance, if I'm in their studio and I'm kind of directing Aisha on how I want it to hear, and if it's already the 5th or 6th time she's saying the line and I'm still not getting it, me getting upset or me like kind of hounding on her, that's not gonna give her a 6th take that's better, that's I feel like the producer should then, okay, why are you not getting this? What is it that you're not understanding? Like, that's why
or maybe
I say
you need to learn the song
a little
better.
bit, yeah, or maybe you need to understand what you're actually singing, because anybody who's new, just because you go into the studio, you have to know what message you're coming across, and even if it's just a party album, if it's just for you to have
I
fun.
want to do a party album.
Yeah, you got to be able to portray
the
that.
party.
Yes, and you have to be able to learn that, hey, maybe I need to take, maybe today's not the day then.
Yeah.
Come back.
Need
Yes.
to inspire. I've had some people in the recording studio where they've got their like lyric sheet still. No, there's nothing against having a lyric
Yeah.
sheet, but they sound like they're reading the lyrics while they're singing, you know. And I try to express that to Mike, because I used to teach. And of course, I have my own kids that won't be quiet. They just want to sing all the time. I'm like, if you're going to sing it right. Oh my gosh. But I express that to them. If you're going to be the lead singer, you are the one who sort of sets that pace emotionally, and you have to create an ambiance with your voice. So that if it's a party song, you should sound like you're at
Having
a
a
party.
good
yeah.
time.
Or they always tell you to smile in the
Smile.
recording studio, because you can hear the smile if it's a happy song, or a frown if it's you can literally hear it. I know it sounds dumb, but it's true.
No, it's not. It's 100% facts. There's times where you're having to sing, and if one message sounds like, yes, you were so in love with this person, you know, verse 1, but verse 2, she ripped you to shreds, or he ripped you to shreds, there's going to be a complete change. You have to learn to sound like.
And it doesn't matter what level you're at. Like the girl who sings, she was a black lady with bright blonde hair in the 60s.
Etta
or
James?
50s. Etta
Etta
James.
James.
Etta James had the same issue in the recording studio, and they were saying, we don't feel it. Let's leave and come back another day. And if you're not going to do it, let's just get out of here. And did you see the movie? Anybody see the movie?
Yes,
I was like, don't
Beyonce
yell at
killed
Beyonce.
it.
Oh my God. But I feel like it doesn't matter what level you're at. You're going
always
to
learning.
Yeah, you're always learning, and you have to go in there with a learning
Johnny
spirit.
Cash.
And I think
I don't believe
you
you.
have to find the right producer for you.
Yeah.
One person's bag is not the other person's bag. You just have to find where you fit.
That's 100%
But
truth.
but once the song is recorded, how do you get them to play it?
Yeah.
That's the question. If it's like a new sound, how are we going to get? If it isn't, if I'm even defining it properly as a new, I don't know. I'm not qualified to even ask the question, much less answer it. But how do you convince an industry that is so dead set on playing that is rejecting
Then stop.
evolution?
Then
I
people
guess.
should just
Yeah.
stop sending it or relying on those radio stations. Just if you're gonna record music, you're doing it from either the passion of your heart, the love for recording, and if you know what, if certain radio stations aren't gonna play it, don't conform yourself so that they can. Find your own outlet.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's YouTube. It's free, guys. Hello.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How hard is it to open your own online radio station?
How hard?
Yeah, that's what she said.
I mean,
How hard
No,
is
really.
It?
How difficult is it to?
I mean, as long as you're paying your internet bill, I mean,
But how high is
you're
that?
uploading.
It's the same as a
So,
podcast.
do you
You're
pay
literally-
licenses?
It's the same exact same thing.
Oh, really?
I mean, I do the podcast. I do it on Facebook. I upload it to YouTube. Like you said, it's free. Like I don't pay a dime for any of that. Anybody can do that. I think the issue is, like, a lot of times with DJs and stuff, is some of the music.
Yeah.
Once you play it live, it'll play. But once somebody tries to come back and, you know, Facebook
Load
is
it.
known for that, they'll mute you. You know
I had
what I'm
somebody
saying?
get mad at me for that. They were like, "You muted your song. I played your song online. This is a couple of years ago." I said, "I didn't do that." I said, "But it's copyrighted." And I said, "And if you don't have a license, then that's probably why."
You ain't got a license, Lisa.
I mean,
Hey,
some
but I
of
think
the
also,
internet radio stations are licensed.
I think also like you know, like you were asking, you know, I mean, how do we get the music on the radio stations? I think that's where it kind of, you know, I mean, we have to rely like on our fan base for them to call in and request
Man, I got
a song.
1,000 cousins calling all at the same time requesting my music.
You know,
They
I mean,
ain't gonna
I
play
just,
it.
you know, man, it's like I tell my boys whenever we're playing music. I said, man, if we want to do something good, it's got to be so damn good. Like, why aren't we playing it? You know what I mean? You know why?
You
know,
got no choice
and,
but to play it.
yeah, and the people just keep on nagging and nagging and nagging.
Should we
until,
have a radio station dedicated to just brand new music?
I don't think that's necessary.
No.
Because I think our music should just be evenly distributed within a radio station that plays new and old. But I also hear, like, it's not just the Tejano guys. Like, I also listen to 96, 94, 95, and I'm like, why are they still playing Please Don't Stop the Music by Rihanna? Like, girl, 2006 literally passed. You know what I mean? Like, the other radio stations do, and they have the same issues as well, which is why I believe when you ask, like, what should you do? Release the music on your own terms. Put it up on YouTube. Put it up on iTunes. If you have a fan base and you get people and they call radio stations to request it, eventually if there's enough requests, you'll get the music played, because that at that point, that's your only option. And if that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can
social
get a
media's
promoter
underused.
too,
Yeah,
but
and-
you still have to work also. I mean, I don't rely all on my promoter. She distributes my music, and then I have people that message me, oh, I didn't get it, okay, and they're like, thank you for sending it, because sometimes they don't send to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not her fault or my fault, but at the same time I have to make sure on my end to put the work in also, or go to the radio stations or do interviews in person.
Question: should we be distributing our music to like mobile DJs, like working DJs that go to like quinceañeras and stuff? Do we give them our music for frizzy?
I don't see why we need to when they can download it on
Yeah.
iTunes.
Yeah.
I had I'm like kind of new to that, right?
Me too.
But but I was told one time or a few times not to give them the music because of the whole the sound scan and so that's part of our revenue that I mean we've already put in the money to to like record the music and whatnot.
Yeah.
So so those types of DJs should be able to pay the 99-cent download or whatever.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
gotta pay the
and-
$1,000 for the night to stand there and press
Yeah.
play. Come
DJs
on
for
now.
real though.
Yeah.
DJs get paid more than the band does.
Yeah.
I have a mobile DJ
They ain't
that
gotta share
asks
their
me
money
for
with
my music,
nobody.
but he also buys it. So I don't know.
Oh, like I'll give you one as long as you buy two.
But
Nah, I don't know.
it's almost
But
like
he
a
plays
double-edged
every
sword.
weekend.
Damn if you do and damn if you
Yeah.
don't. Because if I'm the mobile DJ, you got a brand new song, you like bumper. I know you're DJing this big gig, play my stuff,
Yeah.
right? For me, it's like he reached out to me and said, "Hey, this is my new song
Yeah.
personally." Aisha gave me her
In
new
other words,
single.
he saw your skill
Right.
and the numbers you pull
What
at
I'm
your
saying is, like,
events, kind
I'm
of thing.
taking that as a DJ. I'm taking that personally. Like, hey, this is not gonna go on the back of the thing.
Yeah.
They took the time to send me an email or to write me or send me a here's my file. Boom, I'm gonna play it because it's personal.
I used to freak out because when I was touring with Janet through Europe, some people would like stop me. They'd be like, "Can you wear these shoes? I'll give you 8 pairs for free." I was like, "Dang!" Like Janet would get truckloads of free stuff, like from Adidas and makeup companies, and I'm talking like an 18-wheeler would pull up and they're like, "What size do you wear?" "Okay, here's 5 pairs of shoes, and whatever type of color you want. What size sports bra?" And I was like, "The big one." and I got all these free clothes from Adidas and just random people stopping me in the elevator. Just wear my shoe, man. Just wear it. If people see you wearing it, then they'll want to wear it. I'm like, nobody cares what shoes I wear. Yeah, I was like, I got these at Kmart and like 3 years ago, and they're still doing me good. But and it would freak me out. But I feel like it's sort of the same thing. Like if I know that a DJ is like the best freaking DJ in all of America, then I'll be like, "Can you please play my song?" And if they don't, I know I suck, like naturally. and I would give them that for free. So
That's
I guess
how
it just
Madonna did it.
depends. Yeah,
Play my tape.
yeah. Play my tape.
Back in the clubs.
Man, the way I take that, like like if I send my music to a certain DJ and they don't play it, and then I stop to think, okay, well, obviously they're not playing it for a reason. Either they don't like it or it's just not being requested enough. So that's where I take it upon myself to, all right, let's go back to the drawing board. What do we got to do so that way this dude or these dudes, the ones that are women, whoever's behind that mic at the DJ booth
At the
is
quince.
gonna play it, or and so people can start can start requesting our music, and that's where I take it upon myself. Okay, well, I just got to work harder, man.
Yeah. I
It's
saw a
take it
musical
to the next level.
recently at the Woodlawn, and it was all about Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan and the hardships that they had to go through because they weren't American enough for the Americans and they weren't Latin enough for the Latins. And so ultimately in the show, what he ended up doing was saying, screw radio. We're going to the clubs. We're going directly to the clubs. We're going to get them to spin our music. And if the people in the crowd love it, they're going to start asking, for it for the radio stations. And I think that's wonderful, and I think that does work. But when there's only like 8 radio stations left in all the United States, and they're so set in their ways, I just feel like there needs to be more. When somebody gets their music played on like an FM or an AM radio station, they feel like it's official, like they've made it. And I don't think they understand the power that internet radio stations have. But at the same time,
Yes.
I still want to feel like my songs played legitimately on an FM radio station. And I just wish there were more. Why?
How
What
many
happened?
people get in their cars now? And like, be honest. Like, how many people actually get in their car and hit FM and go? All the cars nowadays that come out, it's all Bluetooth. It's all you play your playlist, you play your
Cirrus.
what do you call it? So, what are you losing? You're not really and not to knock off radio stations, but we as a genre, y'all need to change your way of coming out. Like he was just saying, like
feeling that
You
appreciation.
got to go out. You got to do it yourself. Like he just said,
It's
do
not
it
because
yourself.
like I kind of feel like you should not have to worry why somebody's not playing your music on the radio, because 9 times out of 10 they don't play it because the person sitting down pressing play doesn't like that song. So that means everybody, because everybody listens to radio, right? Because everybody who's listening doesn't get a chance to hear that song because the person who presses play doesn't like it. That's why I said at that time that you realize that if your songs just aren't getting get played at a certain amount of radio stations, doesn't matter. Put them to where they're available for everybody, because literally all of my friends, and I have people who are a little bit more established in their years that are my friends as well, they have their YouTube on.
Yeah.
They play
That's true.
YouTube music.
I play Pandora and like nothing else.
And yeah, because
I can't help it.
I mean, what's the point of hearing a radio station with commercials when you're already paying $10.99 for iTunes Music?
Yeah.
Well, I am. I don't know about anybody else.
I just pay my Spotify.
Yeah, so it's the same concept. I think if you try to always just focus on radio, you're going to get caught up in that small, tiny world of radio when there's such a bigger world, and that bigger world
but
is.
I still want it though.
I think that you probably just need
The
to
only-
change your
I think the
vision
only
on
time
it.
I ever
Wanna
really
go.
watch radio or hear radio is on Facebook when they're live.
I do. I watch Big Boy live on my Facebook.
I don't really listen to it in my car because like,
I listen to Tejano
I hear
Gold
it- I watch
Countdown.
it on-
That's
yeah.
on Sundays. Like whatever radio station is gonna have it. That's really the only time I listen. And even with the countdowns, they go off of radio ratings, right? They go off of radio.
Well,
Where
Precisely.
is the internet ratings? Where's the Facebook, the YouTube views?
Where are you
ratings, right?
getting these ratings
Nobody-
from?
Or
Who
the
told you?
stream ratings,
Right,
where
the
people
stream
who have
ratings.
iTunes, like, because honestly, sometimes, like, for instance, there's been artists that hit on the charts, or there's artists and they're not all the way at number 1 all the time, but they're able to hit on charts. That's a lot of streams. So why aren't those counts need to be
Why aren't
taken
the
into
streams
consideration?
counted?
Yes.
Because sometimes, and no offense to no artist, but sometimes like on the countdown, I'll see a song on there that started like at 17, and then in 2 weeks it's at 14, and the highest it ever go to was like 12, right? But in those weeks that it was on the countdown, 3 A artists that are a brand new single, and it's already number 2. It's number 4.
It's because of their. I don't know how they calculate it, but I think it could possibly be because of the different level of how they're known. More people. Oh, if a new song comes out, well, it gets played more because more people know it.
Again, not knocking the artist.
No, yeah,
at
of course,
all.
of course, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And not saying that their song, it shouldn't be a number 2 or number 1 song right when it hits the chart. But I'm saying that it's kind of like week after week after week. Like, where is that? You know what I'm saying?
I think ultimately
I
where
know
you get the numbers from.
the
That
Rudy
so-called,
Trevino
yes.
countdown is based off of the radio
ratings, yes.
And
Requests or
me as a
ratings.
new artist, I don't know how, but Baby Baby was on number 1 for like 10 weeks.
I
As a
remember.
new artist, I was like, wow.
Get it,
I was like, somebody take her down. Somebody
So
take
you
her
said
down.
A artist or number 2, I mean,
I
But did you
is
start,
an
did
A
you
artist.
start at number 1?
I started, it was at number 3. But it's like, it was a catchy song, you know. It, like you said, it's one of those songs that it just stuck with people, I guess. And
And there are also other songs that have to grow on
there
people,
you
which
go.
is why they'll probably come out not really hit, and then all of a sudden, way later, it goes back up. It's because everybody started to
They
hear
started
it
to
for
hear
so
it,
long.
yeah.
Now they want to hear it more.
True.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be but no. But that was just, I think it was just a luck of the draw, I guess. You know, it just clicked with people.
It clicked with my kids.
Yeah.
And I have a love-hate relationship with that song. But ultimately, I love it. But they ask for it a lot.
You know, when you said YouTube, you know, I've been having some conversation with a lot of artist friends of mine, and I've seen, not to mention them again, but I've seen like Intocable, Signo, like these guys who consistently pull out hit after hit after hit. You go to their YouTube page, it's not just the videos. Like they're vlogging.
Yeah.
So they're coming in, they're seeing, you know, if Rebecca's doing, you're seeing Rebecca behind the scenes. You're seeing like them eating lunch.
Yeah.
You're seeing them, you know what I'm saying?
I've
Like
seen
at the
that.
hotel room, bullshit. I'm sorry.
It's cool. This is
Okay.
R-rated. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, messing around and stuff. And for me as a fan,
You want to see that?
It's awesome, right?
I'll watch 30 minutes of that. Oh. But the minute you go to the stage, hey man, I already seen you on
Yeah.
stage. I already know. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to. Like I love that song. Okay, cool, it's live.
But you don't-
But I want to see you. I want to see you on the bus playing pranks on one another.
Yeah.
And you know
what? I'm
what?
saying?
That feels really good to hear, because I will say my solo career is actually started. It started with my YouTube, because I'm still recording my EP, but I started my YouTube channel, and I know that the fans like to engage. I don't necessarily have a fan base yet, because of the fact that I'm kind of now in a different genre.
I'm just going to buy the album for the cover. I'm just letting you know.
right?
I'm letting you know right now. I don't care what it sounds like. I'm buying the album for the cover. Does it unfold and drop out like that?
A whole blow up.
I just want to know.
Because of the Eric Lee dog.
I'm going to buy it. Can I give you my money now? Is what I want to know.
What I wanted to do was create an experience, and I call it the Eric Lee experience, right? What I wanted to do was create an experience for anybody who decided to follow me to see who I really am, because I felt with Los Desperados, I was kind of just the extra singer, and that's okay. That was my stepping stone, and I'm so grateful that my dad allowed it, and I'm grateful to God that I was actually good enough to do it. But I wanted to create to where people can engage and see what I do. What is my work? Because everyone always wants to know, what do I work? Where am I working out? What do I do? So I put that. What do I eat? I show different recipes.
Yeah.
I'm with my dog. I'm going on a run. This is how I do my hair, guys.
And I
it's
watch
so,
it all.
It's so simplistic, but it's the easiest way for, I feel, a lot of other artists to have where they can maybe also allow their audience to see, because there's other
they
artists
are.
who don't do that, and you don't really get to see their personality, and also it can actually
Sometimes
show you
they
that
don't
they
have
are
a personality.
That was just
Yeah,
what
I'm like,
saying.
oh my God,
Sometimes
they're
you'll
so
start
dumb.
to see where, and that's okay. Some artists, that their thing is that they sing really well, and that's it, and they're not that personable. But then other people are personable, and that's where YouTube is created. I feel like it's created for, so that other people can enjoy watching somebody else live a fun life. Like I know it sounds so
It
silly.
allows you
Example
to
is
do
your
the
TikTok.
full spectrum.
Oh, yeah, I love your
their
Your
TikTok.
TikTok
personality.
is a perfect example of that. If you're not following Rebecca on TikTok, you're missing out.
You're silly. You're silly, and
I got
you're
told
yourself.
right out the gate, why are you doing that, Rebecca? Nobody wants to say that. You're being silly. You're being dumb.
I watch
Why do you
it.
act like that? What's wrong with you? No. And
You
I'm
could be
like,
having a
"Shut
bad
up."
day, and
Right?
you scroll up, and there you are
Yeah.
making a
Yeah.
silly face or saying something you're like, you know what, it's not that bad of a day.
Here's the
You know
thing.
what I mean?
It's not, individually, all of us are not for everybody.
No.
Yeah.
We need to find our target audience, target the
Shit out of 'em.
and just deal with them. If people don't like my music, I was told that my background vocals sounded like The Exorcist, and I was like, that was the sound I was going for. Duh. But
Everybody's
he
gonna
didn't
like
like
you.
it. I'm like, well, don't listen to it. I have a whole slew of other people who think it's freaking awesome
Yeah.
and think that I just did something amazing, which I'm like, still don't even know what I did. But there's an audience for everybody, and I wish that we could have. Me personally wish that we could have radio stations that would just target those specific audiences, so that each of us could excel in our little subgenre of Tejano, because there are subgenres
Like
of
an
Tejano.
entry level radio station.
Well, no, just like the poppin' new
Pop
stuff,
new. Yeah.
you know, and then the conjunto stuff,
Like a mix of everything.
and then the keyboard driven
Yeah.
big. Da, 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 da,
Well, I enjoy your music.
I do. I
Thank
enjoy
you.
your
Thank you.
music.
Thank
I'm
you
a
so much.
fan.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I wish y'all. I know y'all aren't new, but
Yeah.
I wish y'all, the best.
Now we try, man. I think right now what our strength is that we play a lot
Yeah.
live. I mean,
Yes.
we're man,
You
right now I
established
think we
a
have
physical fan base. Yeah.
So right now I think we're booked all the way to like the end of like November right now.
That's
Wow,
awesome.
congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
Do you,
awesome.
Thank
do you
you.
need
That
an
is so
opening act?
great.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
show up. Just show up.
I think we hit on a lot of really great subjects here today, and if anybody was watching, they learned a heck of a lot about. I learned something every time I come here today, and not today, but
I
in-
want to say
in
that I
general.
learned from Aisha and Bumper talking about the social media. You know, letting people into your
Your everyday
personal life.
life.
Because
Yeah.
because I don't really do that on my Facebook. What I'm usually concentrated on is my flyers, my posters
music.
of where I'm playing at next, and whatnot. I think my son's a little bit more. Of that person that
Yes.
That
he,
can do
you know
it,
he plays with the bajo, just acoustic and just singing, and he posts songs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I'm not really like that, but I mean, maybe I need to do that, maybe just to get that extra push and push
Try it
me up
out.
to
Yeah.
that.
Put it in
to
your
that-
story.
Also,
Yeah.
I want to throw out there, because I think for anybody who's, if they listen and this is something that they're going to want to try, you have to remember one thing. And it's going to be that, just like we said earlier, we are not for everybody. And what you put out into the world is going to be where you allow opinions in. So you have to remember that one comment that says something really bad about you, there's probably 6 or 7 that say something that are really good.
Yeah.
Don't
respond to them. Let your
No.
other
Yeah.
fans respond to
unless
them.
you're unless you're a troll and you know how to like kind of
Yeah.
get back at them and you have something witty to say, like I do all the time. But like it really, if you can't do it, then ignore it. But if not, like go at them, like make
Yeah.
them think that they're just like make them feel silly.
Yeah.
I'm not
Just
good at that. I'm ready to
critiquing the
start
crap out
fighting.
of
Like,
Right.
Nah.
bro,
Oh,
meet
yeah.
me here.
I tell
Meet
people all the
me at
time, it's real easy. You don't like it, it's just
You
a
just
thumb.
yeah.
Swipe
Yeah.
away, buddy. Just
And
go up.
I
to the
always
next.
say-
you're
I
good.
always-
They're like, I'm not going to watch your show anymore. I didn't realize you were watching to
Yeah.
begin with.
Exactly, hey.
I don't care.
I didn't like all 4 of them.
Yeah. For you
I've
watchers.
had people who are like, man, this guy's so gay. And I'm like, why are you on my page? It's literally obvious. Why are you watching? Why did you take the time to write a comment? Not on one video, but
I don't like
3
it,
of the
you're gay. Oh my
videos. Come on now.
Okay. Did you not know? Did you not get the
Did you not
memo
see the
before the
rainbow
show?
on my forehead on the first picture?
Oh my God. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming out again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For
Thank you.
another wonderful, wonderful episode of Gibby's Tejano Roundtable. Thank you, Gibby,
Thank
once
you,
again
Gibby.
for allowing us to do
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
So there. See you next time.